welcome. Welcome back to the podcast. We are here. We have a episode for you. I hope you're all doing well with the impending doom and the everlasting existence of the atmosphere. I don't know what's going. I don't know what I'm saying. Hi.
Are you wearing your pajamas?
No, this is a t-shirt. This is
Oh,
just a
okay.
patterned t-shirt. I think Catherine got this for me.
Oh,
Um,
okay. That's nice.
Yeah. So, anyways, we have some topics to talk about. I hope you're all doing well and having a good day. It is cold as shit where I am.
Yeah, it's a nice day here today, just cloudy and overcast in Florida where I am.
Yeah.
I was out for a bit before.
Okay.
Um, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
It's not about deep throat, because that would be porno.
Great.
It's about DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned DeepSeek to a couple of my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't know shit from Shiola about it.
Mm.
Okay. Yesterday, you tried to explain it to me. I understood what you were saying to a certain degree. Um, but one thing I got out of it was that it was safe and free.
Safe-ish, right? Nothing
Yeah,
on the internet is arguably sa well, it's safer than most. That's
yeah.
that's the best way to put
You'll
it.
tell everybody what it is,
Sure.
but I read an article today in the newscast that said the Navy said that no one in the Navy is permitted to use this app whatsoever
Mm-hmm.
because they're afraid that um, it's based in China, the DeepSeek app, and that they'll be able to steal the IP addresses.
Yeah. So I'll address that. Let's
Okay.
let's go with the I'm going to give you first I'll give the professional definition off of like Wikipedia or some website, right? DeepSeek is a Chinese artificial intelligence company that develops open source large language models, LLMs, which is just AI softwares, based in Hangzhou, I can't pronounce that. It's owned and funded by a Chinese hedge fund, whose co-founder, this guy, established the company in 2023 as serves as its CEO. Um, what DeepSeek, the AI model, is the same as ChatGPT. It's the same as, I believe, Facebook or Meta. Theirs is called Llama, I believe. For those who use Twitter, it's called Grok. There's tons of different AI, um, like different AI types. It's like different cars, right? They're all cars. They all drive you places, but they have small or different features, or some are better than others. Currently, before this news dropped, the quote unquote best and smartest AI that you could communicate with or that could do whatever work it was tasked with was ChatGPT's, I believe ChatGPT 4, it's called. Yeah, ChatGPT 4.0. Um, and that is its own multilingual, multimedia AI model. And um, another term for AI is machine learning, right? The machines are learning, quote unquote. Um, and so DeepSeek came out and they are apparently as good, if not better, than ChatGPT's current best model. The reason why this was such a major thing that caused $1 trillion in the American stock market to disappear is because this company, as stated, has only been around since 2023. And for also additional reference, the company claims that it has been able to create an AI such as this one, which is DeepSeek, their best version. They've got different models. The best version is DeepSeek R1, or is it just R? Let me double check. Yeah, R1. The R1 model apparently cost them only $6 million to make versus apparently OpenAI, which is ChatGPT's ChatGPT 4 cost $100 million. So just that alone, take into account. This company's been around for 2 years, not even. And they built what took ChatGPT OpenAI many years and $100 million to make. They did it in 6 mil in 2 years.
Wow.
Now, the fact that it's also more efficient. It's like I said, it's apparently as good, if not better, in terms of the results that it produces and what you ask it to do, it will do. Um, and it was also being run on older computer tech, 5-year-old computer tech. It's open source. Open source. I'm going to pull up the legal definition. Not legal definition, but you get the point. Open source is the source code, right? So the core of any technology or whatever like software is its source code. That's its soul. Source code that open source is a source code that is made freely available for possible modification and redistribution. Products include permission to use and view the source code, design documents, and content of the product. Open source model is a decentralized software development model that encourages open collaboration. A main principle of open source software development is peer production, with products such as source code, blueprints, and documentation freely available to the public. So when you have a software that is open source, as stated, you have full access. You have absolute unbridled access to every part, every scope, every nook and cranny of that software. Meaning and what it also means is you can download it locally onto your computer without internet on a computer that is devoid of internet and mess around with it, use it, modify it, and do anything you want, and you will never get in trouble because it is. And whatever you find, if you find something good, you can then report it back to the home base station of the community around the open source. And then that can be either integrated by choice through the main developers, or it can just be something that people download and use in their own personal free time. But
Oh, so you,
the main source, the main thing about open source is it is decentralization. It is a very democratized, communist type mindset in that, or socialist mind, whatever term you want to spin it as. Everyone has full 100% rights and access to do whatever they want with it, and that's it. Like no restrictions, none at all.
so what would it replace?
What do you mean? Oh, why is it such a big deal? Why are people choosing
If
that
it's
over?
free, what companies would it affect?
It would affect virtually every company that has AI integrated into them in any capacity. Because currently, if you were using ChatGPT, every time a new ChatGPT comes out, it is you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it, and especially if you're using it for a company, for let's say you have automated tech support, right? Like that little chat bubble that pops up whenever you go in like Best Buy or something. Those can be replaced with, rather than people, AI. And so a lot of websites have replaced people with AI. Um, and so would have to pay for that service. You don't get that for free. So you'd be paying ChatGPT's, the OpenAI is the company. You'd be paying OpenAI for the right to use that service so that you can have a tech support AI guy helping your customers, or people who use AI softwares to send out marketing emails, right? That's an entire salary job. That, at least 5 years ago, that was someone's entire job, was creating marketing emails and mass sending them out once a day, once a week, to various demographics and people, and doing market research. And that used to be a whole team of people. Now it could be one guy who just manages the AI and has the AI do it. Again, you have to pay someone to have access to that AI and
So,
get the updates. So by having this open source one, companies can stop paying OpenAI and ChatGPT, download this for free, and use that for their company, and now they don't have to pay anyone. They can just it's free for
So
like
what
forever.
major companies would this DeepSeek replace?
Name it, literally name it. Any like Google right now. Well, Google might have their own AI software, but um, what's interesting is even if it doesn't replace what these some of these other companies have, they will absolutely be integrating or picking out the best parts of that new software and putting it into their own. It would be like um, it would be like Porsche coming out with a car that was considered the best car currently in the world. But them saying, we will not go to court with anyone. If you want to take apart our car and take the engine or the wheels or the steering wheel and incorporate it into your cars, you are more than welcome to do that. You are more than happy to do it. If you want to modify our cars and then make it faster or make it whatever because you found something even better and you want to tell us about it, cool. We might incorporate that in our next model. It is a communal effort. So this AI may get rid of services from people because there's a lot of people who created businesses off of using AI, right? They'll be like, "Oh, I run a business. I will do your marketing for you." And this one person is really just referring to their AI software because they had to pay for that service. Their service to you is more expensive. Now that it's free, some of those people don't have a job, or their services are going to drop in price because they don't have
Oh,
to pay for the fee. So
okay.
something that would have been $300 a year, or for like a major company, $300 a month, could drop down to 50 or 100, or the prices stay the same and then people still pay it, or they go out of business and people just stick with the free version. But it's the main hub of this is the fact that it is free on every access. It is able to be downloaded and used offline, which completely curtails the concerns that any American congressional or governmental person has regarding it being they're selling your data to China. Because by being able to download it locally and having it be open source means that I can open up the back of this TV and see all the wires. I can see everything that is occurring in the software. So if it's being sent to China, because it's open source, you can, if you know how to code and you know how to read the back end of it, you can see that. There's no way to hide that in open source.
Peter,
That's all available. It's all there.
but then he said that China's uh, this is situated in China and it's not safe.
Yeah, of course, because anytime America sees anything with China, they hit the national security button because they just don't want to. That's the Red Scare, right? We're gonna anti-China.
So do you think that President Trump is going to come in and squash it?
I don't. It's not possible. He physically is unable to stop that. The only thing he can do is squash government users from using it, but he can't stop the public. It's open source. This is like this is not a you can't just outlaw open source because
Oh, so it's not like TikTok where
no,
it could be,
no,
it
no,
could be
no, no, no,
banned.
no,
Okay.
no, 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 no. This is open source is like we're not bordering. It's a free speech thing. Like this is a like a free I don't know how to explain it other than it's free because you like and it's tough to understand because nothing's free, right? If something's free then you're the product. This is a communal effort. It would be here's a good example. It would be like having a community garden. I don't know if you know what that is.
I
um,
do. I do.
Catherine has one near her,
I do.
near her pool, near her local pool. They have a small community garden, and you can reserve a plot and plant whatever you want. No one, everyone's if someone notices that like oh the plot next to them is a little they'll throw a little water on it and they do nice. No one's expecting payment. No one's expecting your vegetables or your flowers in return. They're just growing it. They're just participating because they have the self pleasure and joy of it. So with open source, when people collaborate and participate, it is out of self-pleasure and self-joy. Outside of that, the main developers who set forth on it will keep going on it when they have that time or when they have that desire. But it's not
Okay.
so that's what that is. So Trump can't squash it and get rid of it in that sense. The
Okay.
the US military, Marines, whoever saying they don't want to do it, that's just them posturing because they are anti-China and have no concept of what this is. The likelihood, well, if they're using the web-based version, because there's a web-based, like an internet-based one for which is like the app, right? If you go on the App Store right now, you can type in DeepSeek
Mhm.
and there's
Yeah.
an app version. That's
Hmm.
web-based. If you're
Hmm.
concerned about China getting your data there, sure, fine. I understand because it's internet-based. So if you are genuinely concerned, don't use the web-based one.
Yeah, and
But
I'm not being facetious.
no, I know.
Don't type in deep throat.
Oh yeah, I know. So and so but the important aspect is you can download it and use it off, excuse me, off internet. Without internet, that you can't, there's no way to send the data. You can't
Okay.
send the data if it's offline. And so the US military, the US Marines, whatever they are, whoever's talking about it, um, the them saying that is most likely either ignorance and or posturing, and the likelihood is they're just going to download the free version and have some tech guy in the military force alter it and check it, and they'll make their own government approved version, which will most likely be exactly what's already there, but because it has to have been touched by the American government first, then it'll be approved after it's been vetted. uh
But
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 that's it.
anytime there's something good that comes around, companies with big money to spend, for example, I don't know if NVIDIA, I know
Can't buy
NVIDIA
it.
got,
Can't buy
I,
it. It's open source. Can't buy it. This is a Pandora's box situation. Once you put it out there, it's out. You cannot get rid of it. Open
honest I
source.
get, why can't Apple use all its spare cash and just say to the creator, I want to buy it because
It's
it's out
pan
there
it,
already?
it's out there already. Pandora's box. You have given you've shown butthole. You have shown everything to the world. You've shown how it
I don't
works.
know.
You've
Hmm.
shown the building blocks of how it works. That's it. It's there. They obviously, if Apple wanted, they could buy the company and stop them from producing another version, like the
Well,
next
that's what I
best version.
mean.
Sure, but people still have the this version, and because it's open source, the community will just build from there.
Do you think
They'll
that
just build off of that one.
you,
It's not like the community's building or missing pieces. It's all there and it can be built upon with what they have. So they will just build with that one. Just because they're, and that doesn't stop other companies from also taking that version that's open source and making their own and then
well,
making that version open source as well.
that was my next question.
It doesn't it be what it's Pandora's box. Once it's out there, it's out there. It's the same as I think I told you this over the phone. There's two open source editing softwares that are widely used, Blender and DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve is a video software. It edits video, audio, and does some small special effects. Recognized in like the film industry as an editing software to use for films. That is an open source software that is used in filmmaking, high-end films, not maybe like the super megas, but like we're not just student films here. Same thing with Blender. Major films have used Blender, which is an open source, free. You can obviously donate money if you'd like to Blender and
Mhm.
DaVinci Resolve. And DaVinci Resolve also offers a paid version because they offer like more updates and more tentative effort towards installing stuff.
Mhm.
But
Okay.
Blender's free. There has been major movies that have used this free open source software to make their animations and films. Blender is I think I said, I don't know if I said a 3D building program. It makes 3D objects and so forth.
Right.
Um,
It's a rare time when you get something for nothing.
yeah. Well, interestingly, there's tons of open source programs out there, tons of them. It's just they're not commonly shared with the public because major software companies like Adobe don't want you knowing about DaVinci Resolve or other softwares, and they're always in competition trying to make theirs more desirable than open source because then they're out of business. But like it was like when I went to college, I was taught on Adobe, right? Which is another video editing software. Went home once I finished college and I was like, I need an editing software. I'm not paying $300 a year, or was it $300 a year? Might have been more to have an editing software that gets a couple updates a year that don't actually change the software at all or help me at all. When I can download DaVinci Resolve for free, and when I start it up, it says, "Hey, what do you tend to use the most? Do you use it? What are you most what's the thing that you're most your best use is? Have you used Avid? Have you used Adobe? Have you used iMovie? All these different editing softwares, and it will rearrange the software to be similar to the paid version.
Okay.
So, and
So,
that's all again free, collaborative, right? And it's tough to believe when we're raised on the American capitalist system of nothing is free. Um, but unfortunately, there are things that are quote unquote free, right? It's not free. You're still some people are still investing time, labor, energy, whatever. Some people are investing money, sure, but if free in the sense of you're not having to constantly pay a subscription or a service for it. Absolutely.
are there ads?
No.
How do
That's what open source is.
so how
They
do
don't.
the
They
orig
don't.
how,
It's not for profit. That's what open source is. It is
okay.
not for profit. It is for
Uh,
the public, and it is a project that is collaborative out of passion. That's
mhm.
it. No advertisements. The same way that certain in a similar vein, how certain independent journalists and independent news sites will ask if you can donate because they don't take money from major sponsors. They just take donation money from public, right? I think Wikipedia does that once a year. Um, they take in money. They have advertisements, but
Mhm.
there's multiple ways to make money. Advertisements is one of the biggest, but when you're dealing with open source, they don't have advertisements. That's not what open source is. You,
Okay.
it's made from the passion of people who wanted to do something and give it to the public for free. And
Okay.
then people have the freedom to donate money.
So now I download DeepSeek onto
Yes.
my computer. How is it going to help a young man like me?
It depends on what you plan to use it for, right?
Well, what can I use it for?
Well, it's an AI model. Like you can have conversations with it if you're lonely. You can train it to run your email marketing. You can have it write emails for you. You can, I mean, like the concept of what can it do is really dependent upon the field that you're working in because we have current AI models that, if we're talking generative AI, right, text based people are creating AI bots that are used as tech support. So when you go into a chat and say, "Hey, I need help," it's able to diagnose and help you. There's
So can I
people,
talk sports with it?
yeah,
How do you set that up?
you would just type whatever you want into the you when you download it, it'll have a search bar and you can just say, what are your thoughts on the game, the Yankees game that happened yesterday?"
Oh, okay.
And you can have conversations with it. Now, let's be very
wait
clear
a second
about
before I forget. Is it on the App Store, DeepSeek?
DeepSeek is currently on the App Store.
Oh,
That is a web based. Now, couple of things, couple of little important things. One, there are a lot of people, a lot of pro billionaire companies, pro American companies, backers who say, "Oh, DeepSeek is crap." Try asking them about Tiananmen Square, which is a major thing that happened um, in China, right? A major thing with the government, and we know about Tiananmen Square. Oh, asking about Team Square. Great. Yes, we know that this Chinese software is censoring Chinese government problems. The same thing happens on American softwares. So the amount of times that you people have tried to ask these AI softwares things about American government where it goes, I can't talk about that. I can't discuss that. I'm not allowed to discuss these things, let alone the fact that all social media platforms actively suppress and pursue certain demographics at certain times. The conversation about Palestine, Facebook and Meta in general, Instagram, Facebook, would not let very specific and certain types of conversations be promoted.
So
Very,
who's vetting DeepSeek?
what do you mean?
You say that
What I'm saying is
it's
there are
relatively
people
safe.
who are making comparisons saying, well, they're censoring information, so why like that means they're bad. They're censoring Chinese government information. It's like, yes, that that's why I said this is as good, if not better, than ours, because the ones that are in America censor American information.
No, no,
So
no, that's not my
so
question.
the aspect that they're censoring information that's governmental,
That's not my
we're at even here.
question. My
What's the question?
question is, who's vetting DeepSeek from, again, like the Navy said, stealing our IPs?
If you're using the in because it's open source, anyone who knows how to code or read code and read the backend can vet it. Anyone, because it's open source. You have
I,
access.
I don't know how to vet, so
So
I'm using.
you would have to either just trust or find someone that knows how to. That
So
it's a
would you do
but what
banking on this?
what
Would you do banking on this?
that's up to you. Like I wouldn't.
I wouldn't do it.
That's like saying, would you do banking on ChatGPT?
No, I wouldn't do
right.
it. So
Like that's a
there are limitations as to
uh,
what your trust factor is.
right. But I mean, like anything, like this isn't Jesus. We're we're you don't send bank information over the phone or over text. You don't send bank information over your Facebook. You don't send bank information over YouTube. Like it's the same. You wouldn't put your bank information in on your Best Buy account when you log in and you're talking to the tech guy. You don't that basic stuff. Obviously, you're not going to do. But
Okay, so
in terms of security reasons, like I said, it's open source. If you don't know how to read the back end, you don't know how to get in there, if you're that worried, find someone. There's a whole community that will absolutely do that digging for you. If you don't give a shit enough and you don't give a shit enough to do the digging, but you also don't give enough of a shit to be super cautious and you just want to be sort of middle ground, then just don't do anything super concerning on it, or just don't download the software and just keep
okay, so
using.
my question before, and you cut me off. I said if I go to the App Store,
Yeah.
and I download DeepSeek, is that the free app?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the free one. It's internet based, it is web based. So I don't think you can download it on your phone. You would have to probably jerry rig that somehow. Um,
So where's the one that I can
Use
download on
offline.
on my computer and use it offline?
That would be on your computer. There's probably I haven't like done the extensive research in terms of how to download it. I'm sure it's probably as simple as just Googling DeepSeek and then going to their website and then downloading it. That's
On your computer.
yeah. Yeah. Again, for people who are not tech savvy and don't know how to surf the internet in that nature, I'm not going to recommend you to download some foreign software that you have no idea about. The same
No,
way
but if
that
I go to Google and I download DeepSeek.
yeah, you'll find it. You'll find the company. It'll pop up and you can probably download the software right then and there. Again, as much information as I can give you, do your own research because it is not, it's not my responsibility. It's not my job to tell you whether it's safe or not. I can only give you
Hmm.
the information that I have found. You have to make your
Okay.
own decision and you have to do your own research. Even if that's going on YouTube and watching tech guys that you like talk about
Hmm.
it.
Okay.
Do your own research. Just because I'm giving information that I have found, that may be enough for me. That may not be enough for you.
Can you
And
use deep?
also, I've used DeepSeek a couple of times on like the app, but I haven't done anything crazy with it. And I don't think I'm going to be like a tester or anything. Like I don't plan on doing anything crazy.
Can you use DeepSeek for gaming?
Probably not. I don't like, I don't know how you would use it for gaming.
What
Um,
about streaming?
mm, Again, like I think it's too broad of a too general and broad of a question.
Okay.
You can
That's
use,
why I'm asking the question because
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, you can. It's too broad and general of a question. Like
Okay.
because if you use AI for gaming, that's that's just cheating. Like you're because there's no way to use AI for gaming because that would enhance your ability to play, which is cheating. That's like using performance
Hmm.
enhancing drugs at a Olympic sport.
Okay.
Um, the same way if you were going to use it for streaming, maybe like some people use AI to do what's called deep fakes. I think we did an episode on that many episodes ago, where they overlay someone else's face on their face. So like I used to see a guy
Okay.
on, I think it was TikTok, um, some dude in some other country playing whatever game, and he had a deep fake of Robert Downey Jr. on him. But because he was not like a white guy, it looked weird, but he was still had it on.
Hmm.
So that's a use of AI. So you could use that for streaming, but there's no um, because of how malleable and how volatile is not the right word, how much AI is like putty in your hands. You can really do a lot with it depending on your expertise,
Hmm.
your skills, and your knowledge on it, right? I've made a ton of videos on my social media platforms talking about how AI is being used to identify tumors before they turn into cancerous ones. AI is being used to help develop new drugs. Um, Specifically, I made a couple about ones that are working on drugs about autoimmune disorders, being able to cure autoimmune disorders because they used AI to crunch numbers that would normally take 10 years to crunch. They did it in 2 weeks.
Hmm.
And obviously they'll go
Interesting.
back and check the work. They're not just blindly, whatever, but
Yeah.
people are using AIs to run through all the medications we have or the products that we have and find new combinations to create
Hmm.
better, healthier, safer over the counters for us. Right.
Okay.
So it's all people using AI to help with well, I mean, a shittier version is like Elon Musk's cars, right? The self-driving thing. Self-driving cars is AI. It's identifying and recognizing what's on the road, the car's near itself, and making decisions as such. That's also AI. So and then there's AI where you can just talk with it and ask like how your day was or how its day is, and then there's websites where you can we spoke about this as well. There's websites where you can go on and the AI, it's a website with just a bunch of different characters, different people and things, and you can talk to them as if they're that character. So you can talk to uh Spock, and it's an AI that was trained to pretend to be Spock. And you can have conversations with Spock as much as you want all day, and you can talk about whatever, and it will respond as Spock or Robert Downey Jr. or Iron Man specifically, right? So AI is
Okay.
very, very, very malleable in that
So,
sense.
thanks for the information.
Yeah. The one last thing I wanted to get at, aside from the open source, last thing that I think is very important to recognize, as open and cool and interesting as this may be, AI is still very, very heavy on the environment. Very, very heavy on the environment. Um, it is extremely, extremely detrimental. It is not going away, unfortunately. In this, the only way that we are going to work through this is find ways to make AI cost less on the environment. But specifically, what I mean by the environment is it requires a lot of fresh water to keep those machines that make the AI running. And it's more than you could imagine. Um, so AI is very, 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 very heavy on the environment. People using it for things like just chatting about your day. There's going to be people like that. It's not great. It's not the best method to use it. Personally, I think it should stay in the STEM. I think it should stay in the STEM fields for medical and scientific reasons. And people should not be using it to generate images and scripts and things like that, because that it, it's not actually doing anything. You're just like, it's like twiddling your thumbs while also killing the earth. So,
Okay.
uh, unfortunately, like I said, it's not going away. That's just how it is. It is still very interesting, and I hope we find a way to lower the environmental cost. But
Yeah,
with all that,
so uh,
well, we have less than a minute, so I'm gonna.
I have nothing more to say on
Oh,
this. I'm
okay.
glad you answered the questions. To me, unless you want to continue with it, we could end this segment.
No, we can end it here. If we have another idea, we can talk about it another time. But
Okay.
aside from that, I hope everyone has a good rest of your day.
Yes, thank you, Peter.
Of course. Till the next one. Peace out.
Peace out.